Hey friends, today we are going to continue our Saxon spelling rules that we've been reviewing from this year. Today we have the final J sound rule. Okay, so when you hear that J sound, that J on the end of a word, how are you going to spell it? Because it could be two different patterns. Again, that's of course why we have these rules, because if two different patterns can make the same exact sound, it's really helpful to have a rule so we know which one to use, so we know we are spelling it the correct way. Now, today's rule is almost identical to yesterday's rule. Remember, yesterday's rule was the final ch sound, that ch sound on the end of a word, and it could have been spelled two ways as well. It could have been spelled with tch, trigraph, or just the ch digraph, and there was a rule. Tch was after a short vowel, ch was after anything else. Today's rule is exactly the same. There are two patterns that say the j sound, dge, trigraph, and ge. Dge trigraph is after a short vowel, and ge is after anything else. So it's basically the same rule, just with a different sound and two different patterns. So let's review the dge pattern and that rule. So again, the dge pattern comes after a short vowel. So if you hear a short vowel in a word right before that j sound, that j sound, it's going to be spelled with the dge trigraph. So I have three examples: edge, fudge, and badge. Edge has a short e sound right before the j sound. So it's going to be spelled with the dge trigraph, edge. Fudge, oops, and I forgot, if you noticed, I forgot to code that short vowel U. But it is short, so that's okay. Fudge has a short U sound right before the j sound, so it's going to be dge trigraph. And then badge has a short a sound, adge, right before the j sound, so it's dge. So if you hear a short vowel sound right before the j sound on the end of a word, make sure you spell that j sound with dge. The other part of the rule says that it's spelled with a ge after anything else. So I put three examples that all have different patterns right before the j sound, so that we can make sure we remember that it comes after anything else that's not a short vowel. So my first example is cage. What do you hear right before the j sound in cage? That's right, a long a sound, a long vowel sound. So since it's a long vowel, it's going to be spelled with the ge after it. Scrooge. What do you hear right before the j sound in that word? That's right, the oo vowel digraph, the long oo, ooh. So of course, after that is going to be the ge sound, making the j. And then lunge, what do you hear right before the j sound? That's right, an N, which of course is a what? A consonant. So since it's a consonant right before the j sound, it's spelled with a ge, like the other ones. So this rule is really helpful, and it's pretty simple because as long as you remember that if you hear a short vowel before the j sound, it's dge, and if you hear anything else before the j sound, it's spelled with a ge. So in today's activities, you do have an activity sheet in there to practice this spelling rule. So go ahead and get out your practice page and go ahead and practice spelling with dge and ge to make the final j sound.